living in Chicago because it is an urban area. My partner bikes to work every day in the summertime. I live 7 miles from downtown, but he literally goes over to the lakefront. He bikes the entire lakefront, goes to work, bikes back. So people run all the time. You can rent bikes, you can rent rollerblades. It's interesting because, a city the size of Chicago, in the summertime, it becomes very resorty down by the lake, the lakefront, because there are beaches, everywhere. There's all kinds of activities from, people just flying kites, to sunbathing. And you don't think about that. You don't think about, wow, you can be walking down Michigan Avenue, which is the high-end shopping street in Chicago. You cross the street and you're at Oak Street Beach, and everyone's in bathing suits. So it's you can be in the Chanel store, and go across the street and you can be in your bathing suit.
Not me, I don't have a figure for it.
Well, me neither.
And finally, could you just remind us the Great Lakes website?
Sure. It's greatlakesusa.co.uk. And once you get to the site, as I said, there's sample itineraries there, as well as there are guides that cover everything from outdoor activities, city breaks, best restaurants to go to, just all different types of topics. One other thing I do want to mention real quickly, only because it is something that's going on all over across the United States. We have a lot of national parks and state parks throughout our entire region, and it is the 100th anniversary for the National Park Service in the United States. So people are traveling to the United States. Hopefully they're coming to our region. There's a lot of activities going on this summer in all of the national parks. So it's a good time to come and experience the national parks as well.
Okay, thanks Toby. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Checking it out before you check in on the John Guinn Travel Show on ukhealthradio.com. As always, websites mentioned by my guests will be posted at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. I'll also add a couple of links there too to shows I've done in the past which cover other states of the Great Lake region which are not being talked about today, so you'll be able to get a full picture of the area and find out why you should visit there instead of Florida and New York. So my next guest is Dave Lorenz. We're talking about Michigan. Although we've got a rough idea about the Great Lakes region now, my first question to Dave is, where precisely is Michigan?
So Michigan is right in the middle of the Great Lakes region. When you look at the globe, you'll see that big mitten in the middle of the Great Lakes. That's the lower peninsula of Michigan, and then we have the upper peninsula of Michigan just above it, about 5 miles apart. And those two peninsulas are brought together by the Mackinac Bridge, the longest suspension bridge of its kind in the world for nearly 50 years. Now it's the third longest bridge in the world. And so we're right in the middle of the Great Lakes region, where 20% of the world's fresh water is. We touch on 4 of the 5 Great Lakes. We have 11,000 inland lakes in Michigan, and we're never more than 5 miles away from a major lake or river. So you can imagine, we're a people of the water. We're either on it, in it, underneath it, whatever. We like to enjoy water in a lot of different ways, 4 seasons out of the year.
So how do we get there from the UK?
So from the UK, there are direct flights, Heathrow and Gatwick into Detroit Metro International Airport. Delta and Virgin Atlantic are direct flight carriers. But a lot of people will come into Chicago as well, because Chicago is only about an hour drive to the southwest part of the lower peninsula of Michigan. You get to that New Buffalo area, and it's amazing. You arrive in Chicago O'Hare, all that hectic big city life. You drive around the big city of Chicago and come through a little bit of Indiana there, through their industrial port area of Indiana. And then all of a sudden you enter that southwest part of the lower peninsula of Michigan, and it's like it's kind of like landing in the land of Oz, where you open up and you see this beautiful forested area, cute little towns, beautiful winery district in that part of Michigan. And it's like, okay, you finally arrived. You've arrived in this great place where you're going to enjoy yourself and have a relaxing vacation.
It reminds me of where I've just moved from. I've moved from a very rural village into, well, it's a village, but there's 5,000 people living there.
Yeah.
Where I lived before was 150.
Oh, yeah.
So I would enjoy the journey from Chicago to you because I'm not a town person anymore.
Well, I'm not a big city guy normally either, although Chicago, I think, is America's great example of a great American city. And I'm really happy it's so close to Michigan because then we can enjoy all those big city amenities. And we have, of course, our big city is Detroit on the other side of the Lower Peninsula, on that southeast side, near just across the river from Windsor, Canada. And Detroit is an interesting city. A lot of people still think of it as this kind of rough city. It has been through difficult times, about 40 years of a changing economy and decay in a lot of ways. And the city really fell apart in many ways. Now, Detroit is known as America's great comeback city. It is, I mean, literally, not figuratively, it's literally unbelievable to see what's happening in Detroit. The growth of the city. There are thousands of people moving to the city of Detroit every year. Last year, I think we had more than 12,000 people come into the city for new jobs that are being created. Detroit at one time had some of the tallest unoccupied skyscrapers in the country. Today, they're all fixed up, occupied by different offices and shops and things. There's construction everywhere. It's really hard to get yourself around the city unless you kind of know it right now because there are construction barrels all over the place. And that's a good thing. For instance, there's a new hockey arena going in what they call the district. It's in the area of the city between downtown and midtown, near where the football stadium is and the baseball stadium, and now there's going to be this new hockey arena. It's $1 billion project. So it'll have the most advanced hockey arena in the world. And that's only one of the numerous projects going in. It's exciting to see. And more importantly, and more exciting, I think, is to see the spirit of the people of Detroit and how they're all part of this growing community. You don't generally think of big cities for community, but that's what's happening in Detroit today, is it's all just kind of coming together, and people are part of the solution instead of being part of the problem.
Thinking $1 billion, that's an awful lot of money to spend on something where you can watch people punch each other.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, hockey is one of those games. It's in NHL hockey though, in the National Hockey League, not as much of that as it is in the smaller leagues. So you see some really spectacular skating and really great hockey. Not a lot of that fighting Guinn League hockey anymore. Detroit is also one of those unique places where, right in the downtown core, these professional hockey arenas have really helped develop the city. Economic developers usually don't think it's a good idea to have sports facilities right in the downtown core. It's worked for Detroit. It's helped to draw a lot of people there. And then they also have 3 big casino properties in Detroit. The riverfront's all developed. There's the huge Renaissance Center. They have like 5,000 employees in that one building every day. It's the home of General Motors, corporate headquarters, among others. And the architecture, just the culture with the Detroit Institute of Arts and the Henry Ford Museum just out of the downtown core. I think the second most attended museum in the country. And it tells of the American story and of innovation and how America really is this interesting place that was made up from people from all over the world and still is today. So Detroit is a working city. It's a city that's always either having very high highs or very low lows, and luckily for us, it's coming into this big high right now. It's a great place to visit.
You're listening to The Travel Show with John Guinn on UKHealthRadio.com. We're talking about Detroit at the moment. We're in Michigan with Dave Lorenz, and you're probably interested in staying there now, so now we're going to find out which part of the city you should book your hotel.
So, it depends on what you enjoy. Like, if you like kind of a bed and breakfast type of atmosphere, there's actually a place called the Inn on Ferry Street. It's a collection of mansions these old sandstone, beautiful mansions. And it's right in the cultural district, so it's within a walking distance from the Detroit Institute of Arts, the Historical Center, the Science Center, the Wright African American National Museum. So there's all that happening there, so you can enjoy that. And that's just off of Woodward, historic Woodward Avenue, where America had its first paved mile of road and first, multi-light stoplight. It's really where the American automobile industry developed, right along the Woodward Corridor. And every year in August, that Woodward Corridor hosts the Woodward Dream Cruise, where 1 million people come out to see 40 or 50,000 cars cruising up and down that road. So if you're into cars, if you're into auto culture, that's one of the things that you'd want to stay in that region. If you stay right downtown along the river, America's tallest hotel is the Marriott Center there, thousands of rooms. I don't know, 100 and something stories, whatever it is, and a spectacular view along the riverfront. And then there's some other really great historic hotels too that are very value-based in the pricing, like the Book Cadillac Hotel was the tallest hotel when it was built back originally, like in the early 1900s, tallest in the world, and it's a great experience. Many other nice hotels, including the casino properties, all have spectacular, kind of glitzy Vegas-style type rooms. I quite often, though, will stay in communities like Dearborn, which is just maybe 15 minutes outside of downtown Detroit, because it's very close to the Henry Ford Museum in Greenfield Village and the Rouge Factory Tour, where you can see the Ford F-150 pickup truck being built right there. You can watch them build it, and you see this great exhibit and museum exhibit as well. The Henry Ford Museum in Greenfield Village, it's so big and so impressive that having a hotel nearby is a good idea, because you'll spend all day there. You'll go to your hotel after dinner, and then you'll go there all day the next day. You just simply can't see this tremendously huge museum all in one day, or even in a weekend. So that's a nice place to stay in that Dearborn area. Dearborn's also where the greatest concentration of people outside of the Middle East have moved to from the Middle Eastern cultures. A lot of people have tried to escape all that craziness over there, and they've come to this region. So the Muslim faith is very prominent there, but just acceptance of all. A lot of Christians and others who basically left the Middle East for a safe environment live in Dearborn as well. But the great thing about that is not only do you get to experience that culture, but you get to experience the food of that culture. So the restaurants in Dearborn, oh my, spectacular. I just love the food in that region. So I guess those are probably my two favorite areas to stay, downtown and then in Dearborn.
I was going to bring up food because I figure like mine takes a lot of maintenance.
You and I are alike in that way, yes.
What would be the ideal Detroit meal? What everybody would really have.
Yeah, well, Detroit is the home of Little Caesars Pizza. I don't know if you know that very well here in the UK, but Little Caesars is a big American pizza chain. In the area, we also have the home of Domino's Pizza, known worldwide. That's in that area as well. And then there are about 4 or 5 other really well-known Detroit area pizzerias that are not only in Detroit but also in the Midwest region, like Buddy's Pizza and some other really good pizzerias. So pizza is very popular, but what we're probably best known for is what is really a Greek chili dog. These chili hot dogs are very popular in Detroit. You will either want to go to Lafayette or American style Coney dogs, they're called, and have a real traditional Detroit meal. Very casual, hot dogs and fries and a shake or Coca-Cola or whatever. Not very fancy, but really good and very Detroit.
I think I personally kept the local Domino's franchise going.
Yeah, me too. I'm a Little Caesars guy more than Domino's, but I like them both, unfortunately.
It's the 2-for-1 offers that always do.
There you go, yeah.
can follow me on Twitter at holiday_hut. Finding out what you need to know about Michigan at the minute and why you should visit there. And important on most people's holiday list is where to shop, and that's what we're going to cover now.
Yeah, actually in the entire